Good morning, everybody. This is Rebecca from Trump TV, and I would just like to do a brief commentary on what's going on with the primaries right now. First of all, in regards to the Florida primary that was on March 15th, I went down and voted early on March 11th. I went down to the elections office. And after I went through the preliminaries and cast my vote in the voting machine, I took the ballot up to the machine where you feed the ballot into the machine. And I thought it was kind of strange that there wasn't any verification about who you actually voted for. It just kind of took your ballot and boom, and that was it. And then you get a sticker and they say thank you, and then you're out the door. So I was wondering in that process, who did I really vote for? There was no verification that you voted for Mr. Trump or you voted for whoever you were voting for. It was just it took the ballot and then it's gone and you're done. So with all this controversy over the voting machines, like the Diebold machines, if you've done any research online about the Diebold machines, how easy it is for those to be manipulated and the votes cast to someone else. And also with absentee ballots, when you mail in an absentee ballot, you really don't know if those votes are going to be counted or if they're going to be thrown in the trash. So it really is a mystery with everything that's going on, and especially when you're told by the RNC that your votes don't matter, that we're going to choose whoever we want to choose regardless of your primary vote. That really is disturbing. But anyway, at the end of the process, when I finished doing that, I went outside and I was on my way to the car, and there were 3 tables outside. There was one table for Ted Cruz, one for Donald Trump, and then one for Bernie Sanders. So the middle table for Mr. Cruz, there was a lady sitting there with some bumper stickers and some things like that. And she had this stand of Mr. Trump. It was a cardboard stand, a tall stand. And so I thought that would be a cool picture, to just take a picture next to the cardboard Trump. And so I asked her, I said that, would you mind taking a picture of me? And she said, sure. So I'm standing next to the cardboard Trump, and she was in the process of trying to take, 2 or 3 pictures of me because she couldn't figure out the camera. And I noticed off to the left on 301, there was this car and there was this guy screaming to the top of his lungs. It was actually a couple of young people in their car. This guy was on the passenger side. And they were stopped at a red light. And he was just screaming profanities at me. Just a diatribe. An onslaught of F-bombs. And calling me all kinds of names, and calling Mr. Trump all kinds of names, and more F-bombs, and it goes on and on and on. And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with this person? Are you completely out of your mind? And would you please shut up? All I'm doing is I'm standing there, I'm trying to get a picture taken of myself, and then I want to get in my car and get down the road. And it seemed like the red light would never turn green and he would never stop with his tirade. So I looked over at him And I just waved and I smiled and I said, thank you and have a good day. And boy, did that set him off. He went totally nuts. And then he starts again with more F-bombs, more insults. And then I was thinking to myself, I wish that Mr. Trump had one of his Secret Service guys standing there on the corner, and he would just go over and yank this guy out of the car. The guy was literally hanging out the window, waist through the window, almost out of the car, I guess trying to make his point. These people have lost their minds. These Bernie supporters, Hillary supporters, or these paid thugs. But I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be great if some Secret Service guy would just walk over there while the car is stopped and just yank him out of the car and shut him up? But since that wasn't possible, thank God the light finally turned green and they got down the road. And if any of you are wondering who Rebecca is behind the camera, yes, that's a picture of me. There it is. The mystery is solved. So at any rate, that was my experience on primary day. And I'm just looking at the news this morning. And it's just amazing what the establishment is trying to do to stop Mr. Trump. I see that Kasich and Cruz are joining together and suspending some of their campaigns in certain states, and they're joining together to try to stop Mr. Trump from winning the nomination. They're trying to stop him from getting enough of the delegates that he needs to clinch the nomination. But I also see that right now, Mr. Trump is ahead in the polls in Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Indiana, New Jersey, and California. So essentially, if he wins these states, starting tomorrow on April 26th and again on June 7th, then he will have enough ballots. He will have enough of the delegates to where there's not a contested convention. And really, I hope that that's what takes place with this this situation, because I don't know about you, but I really didn't realize how corrupt this whole process was. And until now, Mr. Trump is uncovering the corruption. And for me, when I voted in the past, it was basically I really didn't care what was happening behind the scenes. I just went and cast my vote for whoever I like best, or the lesser of two evils. But it's just amazing. It's just amazing how this whole process works. How delegates can be wined and dined, and they can be bought, and they can be changed, and they can be thrown out, and and in some states they can just cancel the vote if they choose to cancel the vote, where people have no say so. And so I hope at the end of the day that this process is shut down. And really, for me as a Christian, to see how Ted Cruz is acting during this process. He's supposed to be a Christian. Number one, you don't behave like this. It's totally unethical. Whether it's sleeping with a bunch of women or prostitutes, buying delegates, whatever he's doing. And John Kasich, I don't even know why he's in the election at all, aside from just trying to take more delegates away. And so I hope at the end of the day there will be a sweep, and then we can get on down the road with this. And as far as Hillary Clinton goes, she's a criminal. And who knows at this point whether she's going to be even running for the other side. And of course there's Bernie Sanders, crazy Bernie Sanders, trying to tell the young people, everybody gets a free college education. Everybody, it's all free, it's all good. Let's spread the wealth. And who would have ever thought that we would have gotten to this point where people are even considering electing a socialist for president? So I just hope that this thing is wrapped up, and it's wrapped up soon, and that we will stop the steal and seal the deal. So people, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever, get out there and vote for Mr. Trump. I have a lot of friends who are Democrats and Independents, and they see what's going on, and they are actually crossing over to vote for Mr. Trump. And if they've missed the primary already in the general election, they are voting for Mr. Trump. So let's just hope that in the general election, or in this process, when we finally get to the convention, that the establishment, the RNC, doesn't try to pull something else and say, okay, Mr. Trump, even though you have the delegates that you need for the nomination, we're not going to choose you. We're going to put somebody else in. We're going to put Kasich in. We're going to put Cruz in. We're going to bring somebody else in. We're just going to put them up in here and forget about what the people say, which is just totally ridiculous. And also, I would just like to say to all of you Christians out there, pray that Mr. Trump, if he is the person that God has chosen to take over as president of the United States and to repair the damage that has been done by the current administration, keep him in prayer for his safety and for success, because he needs our prayers. And he needs to make America great again, because our country has been destroyed. It has been totally destroyed, and we do not need another corrupt politician as part of the status quo, as part of the club. We don't need that anymore in America. We need something new. We need a fresh start. And we need to be able to hope again. So hopefully tomorrow and Tuesday is the beginning. And then when it comes to the remaining states, like New Jersey and California, that will bring Mr. Trump over the top, and we can get this show on the road. And maybe even a couple of surprises. You never know. You never know with polls. The people in the states where Cruz and Kasich, if they join forces or whatever they're doing, the people even in those states might say, okay, we see what you're doing. We're not interested. We're going to vote for Trump. So that's my 2 cents worth for today. And this is Rebecca from Trump TV. Have a good one.